And this is going to be the final act for our playthrough here. So then we'll get to endgame. So when you go ahead and actually complete it, don't be dumb like me on our last part and we just went, alright, I'm going to portal back. But I will show you a mechanic that can help you reset it. So I actually had to fight all the bosses again, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. So we're going to go to Oriath Docks. So what you can do is you can reload an instance of an area, and I'll show you how to do that. It's something that is quite important. So let's go ahead and talk to everyone in town.
For freedom, let me.
And we also did get a legendary or a unique item that I didn't show off. So I do want to show off that item and what the heck it does. And I also want to clean up my inventory real quick. But we did get this item. So this is Cloak of Flame. It makes so there's 20% physical damage taken, or damage from hits taken as fire damage, which actually is a nice little benefit. But like the overall stats on this item aren't very good. But that effect in particular is a very good effect. It definitely helps you prevent getting absolutely destroyed. Especially if you happen to have like a lower amount of armor, as some people just try to stack evasion, and there comes to a point where like even with 95% chance, or I should say maybe like 60 or 70 more realistically, when you're able to evade or dodge a certain an attack and it hits you, it's just game over. So I'm just gonna go put all these maps away, and we'll probably do a map actually, which is the end game content in this part. It depends how long it takes me to finish this last act over here. But the last act I don't believe is very long.
You there? Exile. I am in need of your services once more. Help me.
It takes a while for the ability to kill the things around them. Okay, we talked to him. And then we can go back to the docks if we want to. I'm going to, if I can, get a checkpoint for progression and efficiency. We're even melting elites right now. Super fast. Oh, I'm gonna go through this little area. It's fine because one area, that area will always be on like the left side, I want to say. I'm just going to continue. As soon as we get to a waypoint, we'll go back into town. I believe the waypoint's more towards the center. It's definitely going to be just more towards the center. How many rituals are actually over here? I think you actually have to engage in one ritual for it to show up how many there are left. Ooh, another skill point. And we get the last awesome node. But later on, everything that we get on our items, minus the rings, will be actually for more life. Oh, there's nothing really here. I'll grab this. I should have read the jewels first. But that's okay, I don't want to do the rest of them anyways. Oh, we're taking a massive amount of damage because of corrupted blood. It's fine. I'm not really too much worried about corrupted blood right now. If we die to it, it's fine. Since we just leveled up, too. No big. I want to see if we can scout out more of the center area of the map. But you can be immune to corrupted blood. You can corrupt a jewel, and it can give you the ability to be immune to it. the soul fight. Dang, where is that waypoint? There's definitely one here, but it's just hiding. Well, we do need to go to the relic quarry, but I just, like I said, want that waypoint so I can go back here. Wow, there's a little sliver here. Oh, that's the control blocks. But it's nice, even though we're not getting the waypoint, we still know where everything is, so that's something to look forward to, I guess. Let's see if it's over here. I hope it's not just in this little area. Ooh, someone did a decent amount of damage to us. No. Really? Okay. How did we miss it? Oh. Okay, it's on the other side. Right. Cross all the way. Well, at least now when you know, you'll know, unless it's just random. The tile set. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alright, so now we'll go back to town finally, and we'll start completing some of the quests. The important quests are Vilenta's Vengeance and an End to Hunger, which will be like basically at the very, very end.
Remember. For freedom.
So we can grab ourselves another flask over here. We can have, this is the first time I'm showing you guys a quartz flask. It's used to dodge spell and attacks. It's actually quite nice to have. There's also an amethyst flask, which you can grab and equip if you want to avoid chaos damage, because that and corrupted blood are like the things that will probably get you killed earlier on in the game. That like it's just like you probably won't have the stats for it. But correct contract and find the staff of purity. Here we go. We'll go do this. So we'll only do very specific quests. So it's in search for it in where? Wait. Chamber of Innocence, okay. It takes us a while for this class to kind of build up the attack speed and the get all the rage stacks up. So that's like one downside to playing Zerker, but the upside is once it's built up, it's massive. Big DPS. As torch quartz. Okay. And then the next area is where we want to go. We're full on the soul fight. You can actually increase it though as you progress. You just keep on doing the mines and that kind of stuff. Ooh, we take a massive amount of damage. I'm gonna do these as this could grant us a 6 link as well. We already have a 6 link, but our 6 link really sucks. It's just I wanted to get a 6 link, and like when you only put like 10 chaos orbs as your budget, you're really limiting yourself to what you can potentially get. But I think some of the best armors in the game that you can get like early on for a low price, they're all going to be corrupted. They're all going to be pretty much through here. And they can't be modified, so don't try to change the colors on it. What you get is what you get. Or what you see is what you get with the corrupt items. Pretty much. Technically there is another way that you can change them, but not worth. through all the way over here. A bunch of loot monsters. But we need to get that Lion's Roar flask. I actually just checked the price of it. And if you remember, it was 3 Chaos Orbs and I was like, wow, it's so cheap. It actually went up in price. Now it's 5, so it's like almost doubled in price. Maybe it'll go up even more, maybe it'll go back down. I don't know. But for 5 Chaos Orbs, it's probably worth buying it now. I was like, that's pretty cheap anyways. We got the Chaos Orb one. Let's see. I'll just take these. It's always just nice to have. And the thing with the currency in the game is that they can never be like, well, depending on what type of currency it is, for the most part, most like the smaller currencies, the vendors will be able to sell them, so there's never a time where someone will buy out like every single one of like a lower tier currency and try to like resell it for like 100 times the price, but he's the only one selling it. You can't really do that because of the vendors in the game. There's like vendor recipes. So now we gotta get the Staff of Purity. So this is like one of the same areas that we encountered earlier in the playthrough. It was one of the bosses that I mentioned that's like super annoying to fight, because he just has like so many long animations. That's what happens when you move when you're bleeding. There is a way to make it so you're immune to bleed. There's one called Death's Door, I believe is what it's called. So bleed is a huge issue. What you should do, and what I eventually will do, is I usually like having my life flask to have. I can actually roll it later. When I get back into town. Ooh, a nice little Chaos Orb. It's a very important thing to have. Ooh. Oh, it's just like, you know what, I don't want to die again. Sometimes better hold still. Let's go. Oh, to answer your question, if I'm going to trade a Ghost Black Rose, I don't know, mate. We'll wait and see if it goes up. And I'm going to do this now because otherwise I will forget, and it's a very important skill to know that you want ideally what you want on your gear is something to give you curse immunity. You also want something to remove freeze, because if you click on one of the strong boxes that freezes you, it can be very helpful. But we're gonna take all these orbs of alteration. I like to have remove bleed on this, even though these are both really good effects. I just really want remove bleed on it, so I'm just gonna keep on literally rolling it. There's really nice flash charge and crit. All that matters is literally, oh, there we go, that's all I wanted. Now this one has extra quality, so you'll see as I increase the quality of this, I'll use one glass bubble because this one has, since the numbers are so high, you can see it. Some items it'll only give you such a small number that if you put 1% quality, it won't give you anything. But if I put 1% quality into this, if I just use it, instead of being 27, it's 28.32 now. So it increases the amount. So you can increase flasks. In this game, you can increase everything to plus 20. Technically, you go higher, but on average, it's plus 20. So now we are going to add another modifier to it. So I'm going to take this Orb of Augmentation, because I like the thing on it. Add another thing. 50% increased recovery rate. Okay. That's good. That's good. Literally anything plus the bleed, unless it was extra elemental damage. Because technically with my cyclone I have added fire damage, but pretty much I'm not looking for that. I just want that bleed immunity. That's all I want. Alright, let's go in. We're about to fight. And we can throw in our totem. Do I have my Vol totem up? Oh, yeah, I do. Is it Control press T? What are these keybinds, man? I mean, I'm the one that set this one up, but Control T is... It's because I also am running a keyboard that's a lot different. like it's a mini keyboard, so I have to hold like function on a lot of things in order for them to work properly. So he's gotten reassembled, but he was pretty easy. I would say that's a pretty easy fight. So now we go back to Bannon. Deliver it. Here you go, Bannon. And then he's like, oh, I died. I'm just gonna grab this and then sell it right back to her. If I identify it, let's see. So we had 4 transmutations, and if we wisdom it, we get 9. Is it worth transmuting? And it depends on like what currency you need. I mean, a lot of times both of these are so small, it doesn't really matter. Like, it's more so you probably wouldn't have picked up the item, but I just did it because it was part of the quest. Alright, so, Vilenta's Vengeance is one of the other quests that we want to do. You actually want to do this too. This is an important quest. So we will do this one over here, and the tier. So the reason why you want to do the tier one is it grants you the ability to get pretty much every gem in the game. We'll talk to Innocence right now, and he'll open up this way, but we're not going to go that way at this moment. Because after this, we'll also get a lot more negative resistances. But it's okay, we're running, like, this belt is terrible. We're going to 1000% swap out this belt. It's just like sometimes I just get things to progress. Some people were like, I'll just make my progression a little bit slower and I'll just get like an item. But like, some of the items are so cheap to buy, it's just like, why not just get the item? Oh my, something is doing an insane amount of damage. It could be chaos damage, I don't know. But like, we just started melting real fast. So, what if we're doing? The Vengeance first, okay. Vengeance and then get in the tier. It doesn't matter which order you do it. Well, this one gives you a skill point, so. Ideally, you would probably try to prioritize the skill point quest first, so when you do the other quests, you'll have more of whatever stat, whether it's defensive or offensive stats. Okay, we're about 69. But we're going to get a lot more life. Like, this is really, I would consider this low life right now. If you have lots of dodge, this could be like okay, or if you have like, you're playing Necromancer and you have like a bunch of minions that can absorb damage for you, then I think you'd be fine too. Yeah, just on a 4-link, we are still melting with Cyclone. I also want to put Cyclone on the 6th link. But I will have Cyclone 6th linked. What I plan to do to make this speed super fast. Ooh, that's nice. It's a bunch of sockets in it. So we can go get some Jeweler's Orb. Let's go ahead and throw it on a portal. I don't know if you need to do this anymore. I'm not sure which patch it was, but they made a patch where when you die, you can just like spawn right outside on some of the areas. I couldn't tell you the exact ones. Do I have to destroy these? No, okay. This boss, he comes down and he drops things, so don't stand in like a straight line. What will really get you killed is if you are in like the direct line of sight and you just walk into it, so you just get hit by like multiple of them. And you used on a Duelist reboot. I wish, man. That was... Oh. Okay. Well, I guess you didn't need to put that thing there. I didn't pay attention. I look over to read my chat, and that's why I rip, man. But, I don't know if they... I don't know how good the support will be for that action RPG, the, Godfall. I don't think it has very large of a stream like right now, so sometimes when games plan to have DLC, if the sales aren't good enough, or sometimes games just because they're not doing good on Twitch, that doesn't mean they won't like do well in the long run. But a lot of times if a game is super successful on Twitch, then more likely it will be super successful, you know, off Twitch, if it's like a good way to put it. But now that we've done that, we can go right back into town. Complete the quest. But yeah, I hope that action RPG gets some more support. Specifically animation canceling would be really nice for that game, as I feel like it needed it on launch. But with this extra skill point, we can get a lot more life. We're just going to slam a lot of more points into life right now, as that's what I want to prioritize. But if you're feeling like, you know, you've got good damage, feel free to do that as well. So I want to... Normally I would get this thing called Intuitive Leap, but I'll do it later because I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, he's getting something and I don't have it. But I would normally get Intuitive Leap, and I would spec into grabbing Golem's Blood, Cloth and Chain, and then I would remove this one, And then I would also grab Adamant, because it's 400 armor while affected by a guard skill buff, and we will have that up 100% of the time. And that's also 1.5 life regen, and this is another 1.6 life regen. The reason why I want some life regen is because I want to be able to mitigate the negative effect of blood rage. So when I'm losing rage, not blood rage, but rage, I drain, like my life starts draining as well. With this, it's actually quite a bit amount, since we have so much extra rage. We lose 0.1%, and since we have 70 rage, that's obviously a relatively large amount. And it's per second while we're not losing rage. So again, that's a downside. So I need to have some to mitigate the basically it's like a I shouldn't say bleed, I should say like a drain effect, so I can get some extra life regen. Plus, it's just good to have as well. Whoops. Did I not put that 1 point in? Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna grab these nodes over here, and later I can respec if I want to, or if you want, you can also put more life nodes over here if you're feeling like because I might go Impale. It kind of depends on like how good I'm feeling on the maps and how difficult the Maven's challenge is, as that's a new league mechanic and we haven't actually experienced it yet. So like I mentioned before, you want to do the tier quest as well, and we'll do that right now. But unfortunately, it's super far away. It is at the Reliquary. That's where we need to go. But yeah, you definitely want to do this one. I mean, you could skip out on this one if you just want to buy all the gems from, like, players, which is totally valid to do. But I think it's one of those quests that I think is too important to skip out on. But it is one that I would argue is optional for some people. But most people will want to do it. Especially if you don't want to trade with other players. Start with the Reliquary, you get the waypoint. Find the teardrop. Oh, there's Delirium. Gosh, fine. I can't even. Did I get to walk through it? Okay. So you have to walk through it for it to work. My Ice Golem pet died. That's like normal. Sometimes I don't notice that he's dead, and I have to like resummon him, obviously. I hit these because the more monsters that come out, the better. Oh, I guess we didn't hit it fast enough. That's fine. These ones over here, I don't really like. I mean, they can be okay. Actually, this one is, I think it's unique. Essence is the one I'm like, right now at this point. There are good essences though. It's just that I usually don't bother unless it's like a very specific one. And then chances of you getting the one that you want are... But yeah, I believe this is uniques, so that'll be fun. We'll see how many we can push. I'll grab this one chromatic. Ritual, we only have 5 seconds left of the... Oh, can we get to 4? No, we didn't get to 4. Or maybe we did. No, I don't think we did. Alright. We've gotten that thing so... That's like our 3rd or 4th one. The Peregrine. Let's see, we got Essence of Fear. Okay, these ones... Can I leap across? No. Too far. I think I'm getting some lag there. Alright, we good now? Okay. Let's see. We will definitely get a lot of things that just scale physical. Like, I'll probably roll off this. It's just, I wanted to make sure I got that crit, like, early on. Oh, I can grab these. These are really good. There's more of these, too. I'm just gonna get as many fusers. They're really expensive in this league. It was usually 4 to 1, so like they went up quite a bit. And a lot of times, I mean, I think they're always, fusers are always pretty expensive to be honest. But like this time, they're worth like just a little bit more than what you know, what I would consider like average.
Exile, you're
So we get a new belt. We're gonna go and actually see if we can get a good leather belt. It could also increase my physical damage. I eventually will get what's called Bear's Girdle, and I'll grant us extra life anyways, but it's some resistance. But the main thing is we will get a much better belt later. I can actually probably sport Immortal Flesh for a little bit longer. I definitely need some better boots, as for the level, these were totally okay. I think I paid like I was playing Alcar Chaos for these. It has a decent amount of life, but the fire and cold resas are really low, and there's nothing else added to it. Like there could be a lot more to the boots than just that. We'll probably look for our two-tone boots, and we actually got a few items, so let's go ahead and identify them. So we got a Cobalt Jewel, the Fertile Mind, Dexterity are transformed into Intelligence. This is, I think, the first thing that I can show you that is involved with the radius. So if I put this in, you will see that it affects all of the things in here that would be dexterities from the passives. So this instead normally grants us, it says dexterity, but it grants us intelligence. That's because this gem affects it. So it's all of the green ones. Now this area would probably be a very bad area to put this in because, well, there's no dexterity ones. But that would be an option for some people. Is it worth very much? I don't think so. Some might be, and again, depending on the league.
Yes.
Certain things that aren't worth anything could be worth a lot more. And let's go ahead and see. I already know this is not worth anything. Wake Up Destruction over here. I'm just going to go to the PoE.trade website, or use any website you like. And another tip that I do want to offer, when you go to the PoE trade website, make sure you check out a couple of them. Don't just look at the very first one, because if you look at the very first one, when one pops up, I'll show you guys an example where someone will list something for far, far, far under what it's worth. Now this thing's worth nothing, so I'm just going to throw it in here.
For freedom.
Map soon? Yeah, definitely map soon. Okay, so this is one thing I need to show you guys. So remember in part 9, I messed up on it, and I had to go through the whole thing over again, and since the boss was there, I couldn't actually progress. If for whatever reason, like, a boss doesn't spawn in, this is not really an issue with this game. That's like the only one instance where I've ever seen myself, like, mess up in the game like that. But if I hold control, I can click on an area and hit new. It refreshes the entire instance. You can do this infinite times, just new area over and over again. It's not really that necessary anymore. People used to farm certain areas. I mean, you still can do it, but it's just, you have pretty easy infinite map sustain, which is like the end game. Sometimes you get into situations where you have to buy maps, but it's not really something that I would say most people have to do. But anyways, now that we've done the Vilenta's Vengeance, we got the tier quest. It's time to do this one. Okay. Hello? Okay. And which just wasn't putting us there. And then we'll show you guys how to do maps, and it's the most fun part of the game. Even though, like, you might have had a lot of fun with the campaign, as, like, you can learn about the story. There's still more to the story, too, technically. Is it this one? Is it canals? No. Oh, you know what? He opens... It's right next to it.
It would be wrong to do that here.
Alright, so... we warp in. Remember when he, like, blasted, he used, like, a beam? He actually opened up an area for us to go through, but I totally forgot. Alright, there we go. And then actually we still need to go to the Ossuary. Woo! I got another map. Getting all these maps really early on is really nice. Even though you can't do them. So on this final boss fight, it is 100% okay if you die on it. A lot of times, by the way. Especially if you just don't have life. Like right now, I probably will die on it. But we're playing softcore, it doesn't really matter. I could just go buy some items and show you guys, you could easily just get some items and not die, but it's going to make the video a lot longer than what I would say is necessary, especially since, like I mentioned before, it's totally okay if you die on the boss. Now, if you're dying when you're like 80 plus, that's where it becomes a problem, because you will significantly hurt your XP gains. Unless you're just dying like once every 5 seconds, then you probably have something wrong with your build. You probably didn't copy this one, if you were even copying it in the first place. Okay, feeding through. And there's still another ascendancy to go ahead and do as well. Oh, you know what? We're full on sulfide. I don't actually plan to do the mine mechanic. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm pretty sure you don't need to put a portal here, since like one of the updates. Jeez, I didn't actually want to go back. It's fine though. All right, let me go in, and we'll go down here. Put this portal here. There we go, and we got another skill point to put in, and we'll get this extra life. So now we'll have at least 3k life. Our Flicker Strike's about to level up. Nice. Oh, we should actually use this. We actually probably should have... Woo! Our damage is still really good, though. So for this boss mechanic, yeah, generally don't stand in the things that he throws down at you. But you also have to watch the giant hand sweep. And when the heart comes out, this is like your chance to get your damage in. And he's grabbed Sin. Oh, okay. I was kind of testing the thresholds there. I was like, you know what? Maybe we could just stand in it the whole time. We're totally fine now. So yeah, he'll throw this stuff. Oh, as I say that, there's something else that comes out. So don't get touched by those. So when there's those pools on the ground, yeah, if you can avoid them, avoid them. We'll try to fortify as well. Come on. And he's grabbing the other guy. Our damage is, I would say, pretty good. If you get it right, you can basically just hold still with Cyclone sometimes. I think it might have like been that one, but I got lucky. Yeah. So it's basically zero deaths. Like the time I died, I was just like, hey, you know what? I'll push it. Just see like if I could actually just stand there. And watch our resistances. So right now you see our resistances 75, 75, 75. It looks real good, right? Oh, it's about to change because we completed the game. Woo! And he's ripped. Talk to Sin.
It's over.
It's all over now. And now we talk to all the people and they're like, woo, congratulations, you did it. I always believed in you. But Lonnie gives you a double skill point. And that's going to be Nash, because we're going to slam it in. And now we got 3.2k live, and we actually need to get a lot more upgrades. But that's the end of the campaign. However, we still got a few things to do. We got to go back over here. And like I said, look at our resistances. Oh, no. It's not really that bad, but you can see that like now we're at 76, 61, 56. And we'll get way... This armor is like really bad. But I'm gonna go. Actually, we're 35 minutes. We can do like a map or two. But I want to show you guys, more importantly, where in Act 10, it's going to be in the Ossuary. So that's where we're going to go. And there is another trial of ascendancy to ascend for the third time. There's a total of 4 of them. The fourth one is actually like, we're not going to do the fourth one for quite a while, but I'll explain kind of how that works. So now we are going to go back into Act 10. And again, we're going to be looking for the Ossuary. Am I blind? So I'm going to actually Google this. So we need to go to here anyway. So let me just draw on. It is the Ossuary. The Ravaged Square. Yeah, that's what. Oh, it's in. Oh. Literally right in front of my face. I was mousing over all of the areas, and I didn't see it, man. We're good. The bone pits. This is also part of another quest. We actually don't want to go back yet because the whole point of coming over here is for the Trial of Ascendancy, not for the other quest. Alright. So this mechanic is these darts. Honestly, with this one, I'd just say, just start jumping. Like, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, yeah, it's kind of teaching you how to do it. But you'll hit these levers and you're going to go back and forth. And then, whoops, we done. Easy. And now we've completed all the trials, so we can go ascend for the third time now. Do I want to do it now? I kind of do. You know, we got some time in our playthrough.
Always keep your eyes on the horizon.
I feel really bad if I feel that. I'm actually kind of low in life. Like on HP life. It's mostly because I don't have another helmet. And Abyssius, you know what? We'll do some maps, and we'll go back and do this for our playthrough because there's still a lot more content to cover. Even this is the end. This is the final act in the game. We still need to do again what's called maps. But you used to be able to just pretty much just do maps, but now like there's like another like quest that you got to do. So technically, we still got one more thing to do before we do maps, I believe. So what is it called? A Templar laboratory. Yeah, it's like somewhere over here, if I remember correct. But it's like broken. Like you used to be able to like go in here and do maps. But like you go in here and then you walk around and it's like, oh no, it broke, and then you talk to a guy and then it works.
By the muscular golden arse of innocence.
What has happened? You go back to the Fallen Courts.
It would be wrong.
This got changed. I think Conquerors of the Atlas is when this changed. Ooh, we're getting nice lag. All right. So now we have to go, I believe, one of these areas has an exit. There it is. The Fallen Courts.
The courts haven't been secured yet. Ready for a tussle. The abomination is left in Kakaba's wake.
Yeah, this is considered the epilogue of the game.
They're still prone to slide to rages and provoke. Search and destroy them. We'll clear a path.
At least now we are set up, and well, you guys are also now set up to do the final lab. Well, actually, the final lab that would be in like the campaign. The rest of the trials, they're random if they spawn, but they're very, very difficult. Like these ones, you really gotta take slow, especially when you do the final lab. Look at these guys. Look, you see the lag? That's just lag. That's not, you know, our damage is bad. Oh, we gotta go over here. This is where we go. Oh, we got a nice rubber banding. I guess too many people are popping off right now.
Let's head to the reliquary on the other side of Ariath Square.
Then they make you go back in time. It's kind of like a wild goose chase. So it's like, all right, you exited this side, now go exit on this side. Like we go over here, and then you go over here, and then you exit over here. Why did they do this? I really don't know. I feel like it's a little bit unnecessary for the epilogue, but it's for the story. It's actually kind of cool. You put in the vault key. Oh, did they remove it? He used to be on one side, and you would time it, and you put in the keys at the same time, I think. Oh, massive hit damage right there. What the heck?
I'll stand on this one. Stand on the other, Exile.
They scaled this thing in particular for like, I don't know what reason, but this area seems so much more difficult than I'll last remember it. Like the boss was easier than some of these guys.
Just to look at. Those are definitely what we're looking for. Angles that don't make sense. Shapes that shouldn't exist. And corners to trap the sight. Let's install these in the device and see what happens. Meet me in your hideout, Exile.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to our hideout. Now, if you don't have a hideout, I don't know exactly if it's gonna be the same, because I've already done it. So what I can do is I can click on this waypoint and click on travel to your hideout. If you have some of these characters, where is it? Oh, no, not right now. Oh, is there? I want to say that there were some NPCs. I'm not sure if I can show you this because I might not be there.
Go with courage.
Oh, wait, here we go. If you talk to Helena, you can select a hideout and you can change on all. I'm sure they'll probably give you one on default for free, but like you unlock these for free anyways. You can also buy these as a microtransaction in the shop. I didn't really go over the shop microtransactions. I did throw on some skins, but if you want to purchase things, this is where you would do it. You would just go to hideout, and you can get whatever hideout that you want. And the exchange rate in this game is pretty simple. It's basically like $1 equals 10. So if I went to buy points, let me double check on that's correct. So yeah, so 10 points would be $1. So that, to give you like a reference, it's like $15 for a map, but some of the maps might be more or less. That's just a reference there. But you don't need to buy a hideout. You can just do it like that. You can just select one, and I already have the one I have. But the first time that you go to your hideout, you will have to place this item. I don't know if I can. Okay, so what it will do is, oh, maybe I have to like do the quest first. So it'll like require you to place this. It'll like, I'm not sure if it's gonna have a button in the front or the top because I've already done it. And if you do it again, it gives, if the new season starts, you will be able to have your like old hideout. Like it'll just keep everything the same, like on all the locations. I just throw this right down the center. And I have my stash right next to it, but you can move it wherever you want. You can make your hideout super big. You can see that I can place it way over here if I want to, but like I just put everything right next to each other. It's a little bit cluttered, but that's how I like it. Hello Kitty, how you doing? So we just talked to him, and then we have to activate the map device. And so some of these maps that we collected earlier on, we can put them in here. Now, you'll see that there are all these little buttons to push. These are going to activate certain things. Zana is like my favorite one, which will add another map. The Immortal Syndicate is the betrayal mechanic. The Sulfite, which is the little like mine currency. It looks like little gold. And then the Temple, which is the incursion, which is the little thing that I showed off where you get the little stone and it kind of opens up the area. It's a really long process. I'll make a specific video showing kind of how the end of that one works. And then this one is for Einhar, which is where we killed the enemy and he would like trap them, would like kill like 3 or 4 of these at once. Then it will complete the quest. But the Zana one is the one that really actually matters. The rest, you don't. If you don't want to do them, you don't have to. The Zana you kind of have to do to progress. It's just really efficient, as it will open up another map, and you can get a huge amount of like bonuses by doing certain maps that would be very hard to come by. But what we're gonna do is we will almost always at least alch our maps. There's no reason why you wouldn't really want to alch a map. So I have a bunch of these. So I think for, oh, you know what? It's not going to have any of these because I haven't done one yet. So I think, yeah, to open up the Atlas, we'll have to do one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Ore of Alchemy, I'm going to put it inside this. And you can see now, if we compare it to, like, let's say this one, it's just like map, tier 1. This one is map tier 1, item quantity 43%, item rarity, monster pack, and it's also got, area has increased monster variety, it shouldn't really be that big of a deal. The boss has more increased life, the unique boss has increased area effect, monsters have 20% chance to avoid poison, blind, and bleeding, and it says players have point blank. Sometimes this can be a positive benefit, for us it literally doesn't matter, but what point blank does, if it says like players have or whatever, and you don't know what it is, type in PoE, like I'll just type in point blank, and I'm going to click on the PoE Gamepedia, and it's going to pop it up, and you will see that point blank is passive. Projectile attacks deal 30% more damage at the start of their movement, dealing less damage. There's also something called far shot, which is kind of the opposite of it. It does more damage when it's further away versus at the start, but this is kind of the opposite. So for some people, this might be like a big deal. I don't even use any projectile attacks, like really particularly on my build. Maybe I'll have like a pet or something that shoots, but like it doesn't matter. That's like the basic of it. Now, some of these, if you accidentally roll, which we might eventually roll one, like for example, monsters can't be stunned. If I had a build that was all about stunning, this would be a map where I would consider I can't do it. Like I literally just can't do it. I can either sell it to another player, like trade it off. I can also re-roll it, like I could take a Chaos Orb, which I probably don't recommend doing. I actually really like doing Scour and Alks, but later down the line, it's more worth it. Honestly, with the tier 1 maps, you just forget about them. Just throw them away. If it's basically reflect damage, if it's reflect damage, or you have like no mana regen, or like some like really bad effect, you could just be like, all right, I'm not going to do that one. It's fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in, hit activate, and now we're going to go ahead and open up. Now, this is where I'm going to have to stop holding your hand for the part of the playthrough. I'll also talk to this guy over here. Oh, he actually gives you a map. It's unidentified. Well, I should pick a map that I don't have, but it doesn't really matter for the tier 1 maps. We'll slam them all down real fast. You just want to stop by and say hi? All right. But hello, how you doing? Oh, we gotta go this way. So how a map works is you want to make sure that you kill enough monsters to where it doesn't say more than 50 monsters remain. That's all you really want to do. And then you want to make sure you defeat the boss. And I'll show you kind of how it works. And looks like we got Einhar on this one. That's a random spawn. Einhar didn't even want to talk over there. This one's giving us a lot more. Let's just do it anyways. Let's go. There we go. Now, one thing you want to be a little bit cautious of is opening up the chests that say, well, there's just like a chest, not like this chest, but like they're called strong boxes, and when you click on them, it could freeze you. It can detonate the corpses. So now is at a point where if one spawns in, I will maybe use a Scroll of Wisdom to identify it and see if it's any good. I'm gonna kind of ignore the Einhar mechanic. I mean, if it's just right here, sure. But I'll show off all the mechanics later. And like basically what you do is you can kill your captured beasts. You kind of have a finite thing of like what you want. So we just basically clear most of them. I might not kill every single one here. I mean, ideally, like the more expensive maps, or when it's like higher tiers, when you like really want to make sure you clean up everything. But if it's the tier 1 maps, I literally just breeze through these. I don't even care about the not killed all of them, unless I don't have like if I'm on my last map, I don't want to go farm other forms of content. Wow, this guy did a lot of damage. Woo. I probably shouldn't have popped that. So, this is one thing where you will learn to make sure you portal before certain areas. Now, see, this is where I need to go. But the way pen is specifically pen, the way it's set up is you basically go all the way around. Because I died on purpose just to show you guys, though, that you really want to make sure that you put a portal before you fight the boss in the off chance that you die. And another important thing, I'll explain what sextants are later. Make sure you save them, though, as it's not really worth doing it on these lower tier maps, I would say. But you only have a certain amount of times to enter. So if you fail a certain amount of times, well, you've just lost out on the mechanic of going back in. Now, I would normally do these ritual leagues here, but I just want to show you as much content as possible since we're at the end game. 50, yeah, I want to try to keep this at about an hour-ish, but I will show you guys more in-game content. This is not my final part of our playthrough because I still have to teach you guys a lot more. It's just that, you know, since we just finished Act 10, I want to give you guys like a solid like start, so you guys won't be completely lost here. So I'm gonna put a portal up, and we will hopefully limit him. Air damage is okay. He just hits really hard, I guess. Oh, we got unlucky. We'll just say unlucky. We definitely need to get a better armor, and woo, we got a nice little boat. You'll start to notice you'll get a lot more stuff. I need to get chaos res. Wait, I didn't actually want to click on that. That's fine. I can go back. Oh, it's fine. We'll do it anyways. We'll see what the rewards are. If the rewards are like something insane, then I'm definitely gonna do it for this part of our playthrough. Oh, that's right. The ritual brings. Oh, the ritual can bring back the boss, and you can kill the boss twice. That's actually pretty. It's pretty big brain, actually. I didn't even think about that. So, Mings Heart, hey, we're still going to try to get pieces of that. And I definitely want the Orb of Fusing. I could do the rest of them, but... Oh, this is actually not that bad. It's got another 6 to 10 physical, but, like, I'd rather just get a steel ring, you know. But we have mana, life leech, physical damage. So I want it 100%. Oh, let's see if this is any good. Because this could be good. It's got life, it's got fizz damage, relatively what I consider low rolls. You can see the tier of the roll on it, like, for example, the physical. Not exactly the amount of damage I would like, but 78 to life, cold resist, not too bad. I don't really care too much about the strength dex. And it can be actually more valuable for our character because I don't have intelligence. So getting more intelligence would allow us to upgrade our... like, I haven't been able to upgrade this gem, like these 2 gems. Because I don't have the intelligence required. Now, if I wanted to get the intelligence, which it can be worth it, I'm later going to get it on some, like one of my items, like maybe my boots or my gloves, because I'm going to pretty much have these as stat sticks, meaning it's going to be life resistances. If I get some extra physical damage, cool. Or some mechanical impale, it would be awesome too. But I can just get like plus 20 extra intelligence. It usually doesn't make the item go up that much in price, because people don't generally factor it in. The most important thing that people factor in is usually resistances and life on most items. And that's why, again, I recommended you guys to get a lot of resistances, because, again, I can start scaling stuff really fast. In fact, our resistances are perfectly fine. If I remove this belt, we actually will have pretty much perfect resistances, except for Chaos, which I can finish Chaos Res, and like, I can show you guys how to finish Chaos Res. Super easy, super cheap, and it grants you a lot of damage. The downside is that you lose life. Is it worth it? I like to get it because I think that for because it minuses 5% life, so that's basically one node for 20% fizz to chaos bonus, and it gives you a massive amount of chaos res to the point where you just use 2 rings, bam, you're set. The downside is you lose your ring slots, and you can get pretty good extra bonus damage via lots of different rings. There's precursors, there's a lot of other stuff. I don't want to get too much into it for this video, but I think it's relatively cheap, and I will show you it in this part. But what I do want to grab, I want to defer this item if I can. No, I can't grab that. I'll defer that too, because I want to grab as many of those as possible. Grab that, and we'll go ahead and just exit out, as I want to try to speed through some stuff and show you guys the content. Is it still not opened up? Did you talk to him? And he opens up the atlas for you when you finish. Okay, so he opens up the atlas when you finish. So I just finished a map. You'll see that since I finished this map, you'll see that there are some connecting maps. I'm going to reserve, well, I'm going to just do more of these maps. Let me do at least one more so you can kind of see like how it builds out. So what I'm going to do is also, let me just throw these in here. I'll sort through this later as it's not as important as what I'm about to show you. So once the map is done, you'll only have so many portals to go into, and once you fail them, that's it. Like if you died, you can't go in and, again. That's it. When all the portals are gone. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the map device. Once again, I'm going to at least put these in Alk. Now this one's a tier 2. Let's go ahead and do this one. Totally fine. Now this one has the monster's chance to avoid something. The only thing that would really lower damage is like they take less damage from crits. But they also deal extra physical damage as lightning. Whatever, we'll just go ahead and hop right in. This could actually be kind of dangerous because we're going to take a lot of massive amount of physical. But whatever. The point is for me to show you guys these. And also like the mechanics of... So yeah, basically with these maps, you just clean them up. And ideally you want it to say less than 50. But in the very beginning, that part doesn't matter that much. And I'll also show you if you want to buy maps from the NPCs, how to do it. As they do have the ability to purchase maps. Like I said, I would recommend doing the Ritual League content. Because right now, items, like you can start getting some of the best items that are not, like, irreplaceable at this point. Like you can get some insane stuff that's dropped. Pick up all the things that are 6-socketed. I mean, if it's 6 linked to, that's awesome. But this build is super, super fast for clearing out maps. The Flicker Strike. Where the heck is this? Did we clean it up already? What? Oh, you know what? I thought I was like, were we done already? That was insane. But no, there's a little area here that I just didn't see. But we can go grab the Orb of Chance. Now is at the point in the game where if you don't really need like portal scrolls or something, I mean you can still pick them up. You're always going to need them. But every second it starts adding up. And if you start picking these up, you can maybe almost do one map in the time that it takes you to click and pick up certain items. So it would be more valuable. This actually is something that might be good. Yeah, a fusing is definitely worth grabbing. At least right now, I'm still what I would consider not like super poor, but I'm not like uber rich, so I'll still grab fusers. It's just I won't be grabbing the, like before I would grab a blue, red, and green when they're all linked. I would normally grab those, but now at this point I don't need it. I'm not going to bother grabbing those. I'm only going to be picking up stuff that's worth like at least 1 chaos if it's something I'm going to sell. For me, I just think it's more efficient to do it this way. Although if you want to trade other smaller currencies, hey, be my guest. I don't know if we killed the boss, actually. He might actually spawn up over here. I might have already... Oh, I haven't killed him yet. There we go. After you kill the boss, though, it will say, like, something complete. Problem not complete. Okay, I'm going to grab this jewel. I'll still pick those up. I'm going to go ahead and exit right now. And I want to show you how you know if the map is completed or not. So if I hit G, as in giraffe, it will say, like, where it says bonus. I recommend always just do the bonus on all of those up until you get to, like, a really, really hard map. You might not be able to do it with the bonus. It's understandable. But for the most part, I would say just if you can, make sure they're at least magic or rare. I recommend alking everything until you probably won't run out of alks anyways. But it is, I would say, significantly worth it to alk every single map. Like, even at tier 1, I just don't see a point in not doing it. Like, you get so much more. Like, the quantity and the item rarity goes up significantly. And you get that one Exalt, remember, that sold for 90 chaos, and we can start buying stuff. Now, here's where I have to let go of your hand, and I can't hold your hand anymore, because the maps that you get might be different. But pretty much the concept is there. You go ahead and just do the map. Now, if I hit H, let me grab some water. Get some water real quick. I'm not sure if it's the same hotkey for you guys, but I can see these challenges that I've completed, and as I progress, I'll be able to do these and get rewards. You'll see I'll give it a special effect from a weapon. This is a cosmetic, And the final one on this one is a Ritualist hideout that we can get. So that's kind of cool. Again, it's just like every league, they have these new things that you can get for free, which is awesome. So at this point, you can pretty much do all these. Some of these, you'll just kind of complete. It'll tell you exactly what you need to do. But if you don't know what it is, just type it on like on either YouTube, or you can just like Google it. Most of these are pretty easy, and I would recommend just play the game for a little bit. Just start doing maps, and you'll just start completing these versus reading them, and then you're like, okay, I'm trying to do this. It's just going to be a little bit faster if you just go through a little bit. If you just like do it without reading, if that makes any sense, is what I recommend. But eventually, yeah, you can start reading them, because some of them, if you don't read them, you'll not know exactly what to do. But pretty much at this point, you're just going to keep on doing maps over and over again. And how it works is this map will drop maps that are adjacent to it. So like this one, if I did this one, I can maybe get Peninsula to drop, or Promenade, or these other ones. So these ones are what we have already completed, and there's a bunch of maps. And as we complete more maps, we will get higher tier maps, and we will also have a chance to for a map to drop a tier higher. And every time we do the bonus objective, which is what I recommend to do ASAP every single time, where we're gonna at least do a magic version of like this map. How you get at least a magic version of the map if it's a white map. Do I have one? Okay. At least magic means Orb of Transmutation. Bam. Or you can use the Orb of Chance. Do I have another white map? I'll grab another white map over here so you can see it. Let's grab this one. Arcade. I can Orb of Chance, if just an off chance that you run out of these. Bam. This can make it a yellow, as this is an Orb of Chance. Actually, it can do anything. It can make it a unique as well. Maybe not for this, but like it can make items unique. So, oh, we don't even have Zana yet. Okay. Well, there is another person as we progress in the game named Zana, and she will... I don't know if you have to actually place her. I think what you do is you will either invite her to the hideout, or like it'll just be... She'll like come up, you talk to her, and you can buy the maps from her for certain currency, so you can get your maps there. Now, what do you do if you run out of the maps? Well, there's a few options. You can just go back... Oops, I don't need to edit this. I could go back. How do I move this? Oh, I don't want to. Okay, move edit. Okay, we can just go right back into Act 10, and you can go wherever and just try to farm it. I probably don't recommend that, but you should be able to have infinite sustain on your maps. They've made it so much easier to do. So basically, when you do a map, make sure you pick up every single map. That's actually the most important thing, as you don't want to have to go back and not do maps. Once you're in maps, you pretty much want to do maps. But since there's so many other league mechanics at this point in the game, you could just do league mechanics. So, for example, I showed you guys the mine one. The mine one would probably be the one I recommend to do the most for this, as it's just more efficient, and I would say it's the most fun. Obviously, that's subjective. So we just go in here, and it's the same thing I showed you guys before, where you would click on this thing, and ideally, you try to path towards the currency one. That's what I recommend. Like, I would go over here, do the mine thing, and then I get the currency, and I can get some maps. I can get, whatever. You can also go on the PoE trade website and also get maps, but you would have to type in the specific map, and I would recommend you to just get the maps that you don't have. So I'm going to go back to my hideout, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. So if I open up the map here, if let's say I'm like, okay, I need to get gardens. I can get these maps, and maybe I can randomly get gardens as a drop, or I can just go buy it. So if I go to poe.trade, unfortunately, it doesn't fill text for you. You have to type it in all the way. So like, for example, if I was to type in like this, you have a few options, right? But if I'm typing gardens, I don't have to type in the whole thing. I type in gardens, and it should come up with gardens map. But you would have to have the exact, like, the text. It won't autofill the text for this. But you can see you can buy, if I want to buy this, I just hit whisper, copy and paste. Same thing as far as trading goes. Oh, whoops, my bad. I didn't capture my mode. All right, let me show this again. So going back to what I was talking about. So if I type in like certain things, right, I can just have it like autofill. But if I type it in like right here, gardens, you see it does not autofill. But if I just type it in, it will pop up. I click where it says whisper, and it would copy to the clipboard, and then I would go close this, and then I would go open up my text chat. hit Control V or copy paste, and then I would like to buy your map, which is the trade mechanic which we showed off on part 2. And in fact, you probably should be familiar with trading by now. But you can buy, trade, and sell maps. I'll also show you guys how to sell items right here, because this is where, again, I'm letting you guys go for a little bit, and I'm going to continue our playthrough here, but at a point where I've done a bunch of the maps, because I don't know what map you guys got and how you guys are progressing. But as we progress, you'll notice that there's going to be these bosses that spawn in, and there's going to be these things called watchstones, which you'll put in. But I can't show you guys this right now, as I don't have the watchstones. I don't have the bosses spawned in, but I'll have to show you how that mechanic works later down the line. But for now, I'm just trying to show you guys how to do certain things. Now, one other cool thing that you can do is if I hover over these, I can right-click, and it'll show me where it is on the map. Like, what I would do, since you guys probably don't have the map storage thing, or if you did purchase it, you can just store them real easy. But if I've already done the map, I might put it in a storage where I'm going to say, like, storage 1, I've completed all these maps. So like this one, it's already done, right? So I can go into this area and be like, okay, I'm just going to make a reference. My number 9, it's where I put all my maps that I finished. And then I don't know what this key is by default. It's called the Atlas screen, but I have mine set to G. But I can right click over here and be like, okay, I haven't done this map. So I can do this map. I'll put this aside. This map I've already done. I'm going to set this one over here. This one I haven't done. So these ones I'll set aside, and then I'll put these all in my stash that I've already done, or whatever the case may be. Now with the premium stash tabs, this is something that you will have to purchase in the shop. I'm going to show this because this is like if you want to play Path of Exile, you pretty much need to engage in some form of. You don't really have to actually. Buy a premium stash tab to trade. You can spam chat. You can also trade for currency. You can just mess with, I guess, trading currency, and this would work. But pretty much, I really think you need at least one premium stash tab. I'm going to see how much these are, just so you know for reference. If you like the game at this point and you have to spend $2 or $3, I think it's okay, because you really need a premium stash tab. So what is it under? Stash tabs. You need a premium stash tab. Upgrade to premium stash tab, so it's 15. So this is $1.15. I believe, yeah, $1.15. I think this game is worth $1.15 or 50 cents. So yeah, but you have to buy at least. I think 50 is the lowest you can buy, so you'll have to spend $5. But this, I think, is something you need in the game, honestly. So this is a premium stash tab. I can right click on it. I'm gonna move my face out of the way for this. I'm gonna move my face out of the way. And then what's going to happen is someone's going to whisper you. So what you do with that, let me actually go to global. I actually turned it off, I guess. But someone would whisper me just like I was whispering other people. And I would right click and I would hit invite to party. And then I would right click on them on the top right here where they were, like I could see a little face. And then I would hit trade, right click and trade. And then it'll open up the trade menu that you guys have already seen before again. And it was in part 2. But if I want to sell the item here, so I've already had this one set up. So I'm going to completely cancel this one. I'm going to move it out and I'm going to put it back in. So if I wanted to sell this item, I'm not sure how it is on console, but I would put this over here and I would make sure that this, it doesn't really matter what this is named, but I have to make sure that this public is checked. And then it's going to say each item individually priced, or you can set negotiable price, set exact price, whatever. I just do this. It makes it easier. So then I'm going to hit OK. Make sure that I right click on it and then I put negotiable price, exact price, whatever. I'm just going to put negotiable price because sometimes people will make an offer. Like if you're selling something for 50, this is not worth 50, okay? But if I'm selling for 50, sometimes people might be like, yo, I'll give you 49. Sure, I don't care. That's totally fine with me. But if they're like, hey, I'll give you 1 and I want 50, yeah, obviously, no one does that though. Like, on average, like it's very rare that people in this game, most people in this game are awesome, okay, but there are some people like that, just as a heads up. But let's say like realistically this is only worth 1 alc, but like I would say, what do I want for it? 50 chaos. Yeah, you could set it up and now it's 50 chaos, and if someone tries to go look it up on, there's multiple websites to buy stuff, it's not just this one. But this is where you would basically sell something. And that's kind of like the basic of the mechanic. Let me put my cam back on. But yeah, realistically, this is only worth 1 alc. Orb of Alchemy. But like, it's no one's really gonna buy this. I'm just where's it? Orb of Alchemy. There we go. Oh, that's alt. Alchemy. There we go. And now it's listed. Make sure you mouse over and I'll tell you the exact price that I want for it. And that's the basics of it. And we showed you guys how to sell. And now you guys have, you know, the end game. Continue doing this. This is the end game, man. You've reached it. Let me give you a round of applause because not many people make it. Out of I don't know, the last time we did this, like I had 20,000 people like view my like start 1 act 1 playthrough. And I want to say out of those 20,000, probably only 1,000 people even make it here. So if you made it here, you've done what, like, you know, I would say less than 10% of people actually do. Unless they just happen to either stop playing or whatever the case may be. But a lot of people just don't make it to the endgame PoE. It gets too hard, too complex. But there's a lot more content here. Even though we're in the endgame, there's new bosses. Like, I'm not talking about like rework. There's completely new boss mechanics, and there's so much more that I do have to share with you guys. So if you happen to made it this far and you're not subscribed, I could recommend you guys to either subscribe to me or watch someone else's guides because there's still way more content for this game. And if you happen to get a little bit more advanced than me, like you're progressing a little bit faster and you're like, I kind of want to min-max more. One other website that I haven't shown you guys is PoE.ninja. This is one of the greatest resources that I can recommend you guys. It has so many things. It has the economy. It has so like if I go to builds is what I really want to show off. The economy, like a lot of other websites have it. The PoE trade like kind of shows you this. This one will show you the trend. Let me actually make this full screen. So you can see, you know, within the last 7 days, what's going up, you know, what's going down on prices, fragments. There's a lot of other things that I haven't shown off, like incubators, oils. I haven't been able to show you guys these other things yet because they're not in like the base like campaign. They're later in the game. But you can see, you know, what's going up and down in price right now. But the thing that it's most important is builds. So at this point, most of you guys were going to be playing either Cyclone or Flicker Strike. Regardless of what you choose, type it in right here. So if I would click on search filter. Let me actually do this because my face is kind of blocking. So if I go to here and I type in Cyclone, right? Because a lot of people like Whirlwind. It's probably I'm going to guess a lot of you guys will stick with this skill. In fact, it's way better than Flicker Strike for the bosses. But for like the trash mob, Flicker Strike cleans up content so dang fast. Up until you get Cyclone strong enough, because there's a point where Cyclone is strong enough that you can clean up content just as fast. So I would recommend making sure that the build has sufficient DPS. You don't have to be like, oh, I need the 5 million DPS build. You don't always need that. But it is cool to see what people are doing, because some of these 5 mil DPS things, they require you to have an item that like you might never even get in maybe thousands of hours in PoE. There are certain builds that require insane stuff. But to click on, let's say, like this guy's running Face Breakers, which actually has no weapon. It's a kind of a more unique thing. So you might not have to copy like everything, but at least it'll give you guys some idea. Like we are already running Abyssius. This is an endgame item. This is a belt that has a socket in it that you can put in a jewel, an Abyss Eye socket in it. So it does also offer at least some idea. This is also another item I mentioned in my video. But there's going to be a significant amount of changes to this build as we progress, and I'll mention all of them. There's also these Circle of Guilt rings that involve something with an aura, and it grants you extra physical damage. But there's also these cluster drills, and again, I haven't shown you guys this yet, and if you want to see their tree, it's all there, and it shows you everything that they're using. So if you start progressing, you notice like you just need some more help on something, and I haven't uploaded my next part yet, as you know, you could progress a lot faster than I'm perhaps uploading some of these. Check out what other people are doing. That is one thing that I can recommend. But anyways, that's going to be it for our part 10 and act 10. And now you guys can get started with endgame, and I'll update you guys very soon on other mechanics, as you'll get these things called watchstones, and you want to upgrade your tiers of your maps with these watchstones, and basically you want to make sure you complete the bonus objectives. But anyways, congrats for making it to the very end of Path of Exile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.